Hello and welcome to Sunday's edition of Cracking a Cryptic, where over the years I've had to do some very strange puzzles on this channel. This one I think is right up there. It's a Fog Sudoku, as you can see. It's called 6x6 Fog Sudoku, with Pseudoku spelled Pseudoku. It's by starwarigami. The last puzzle of starwarigamis I did, I think the whole grid was covered in purple lines, and it was named after a Marvel character who I can't remember. But the rules of this one are balmy, absolutely balmy, because I think I've read the rules before I turned on the webcam. I think I can repeat digits in rows, columns and boxes, but only once or something. It's a really strange rule set, and it's been recommended to us a couple of times, and one of our testers had a go at it and said it is surprisingly hard to solve this. So I'm going to have a go. I'm starting this at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so if it all goes wrong I should have time to try another puzzle before and get the video live before 8:30. So I will read you these strange rules in a moment or two's time. It's been a while actually since I've done Fog Sudoku on the channel, which is a terrible thing. If you enjoy Fog Sudoku, and who doesn't, we have got our app out. It's our most popular app ever, so do check that out. I definitely recommend having a look at it. Now, what else did I need to mention? Let's talk about how the Patreon competition is going. For it is going. We've got Are You My Mama by the Paint by Numbers Institute. So we were at 1,065 of our patrons had solved the whole thing as of yesterday. Let's see how that's gone today. Reload. 1,065. Yeah, it's gone up again by about another 50. Well, no, 39 is that. I can't quite remember what the number was, but something like that. So it keeps going. It is tremendous. If you haven't had a go, you've still got plenty of time. There's still 4 days. The 20th is the closing date. Have a go at it. Now, the prize for this, one of the 1,000 people will be asked to make a Sudoku video that will appear on the channel. Which I mean, we've made 3 of these videos so far. I've enjoyed every single one of them, and I think the people who've been asked to do it have really enjoyed it as well. And tomorrow we have a new series starting on the channel. 10 AM UK time, we've got a new video coming out where I will solve a puzzle with Bismuth, the YouTuber Bismuth, who specialises in sort of speed-running computer games. I know lots of you know Bismuth very well already. I didn't know Bismuth, but we had an absolute blast solving a puzzle together. So, check that out. It's coming tomorrow morning. Let me know. Let me know who we should ask next. I don't have an in to Mr. Beast, unfortunately, but maybe someone out there does. Maybe Mr. Beast is a fan of Sudoku. Who knows? Now, what else did I want to mention? I've got a couple of shout-outs to do. I'll start off with Shakul. Shakul, it's your birthday today. I know this because your husband Jerry wrote to us and told us that you watch all our videos, so thank you very much for doing that. I hope you have an absolutely brilliant birthday today, with of course a large slice of heavily iced chocolate cake. And I'll also say a big thank you to Alex, who wrote to us overnight. I won't reveal too much about Alex, but I will say that Alex, I think, finds the internet and the world a complicated place at the moment, and enjoys the logic that we bring to bear in these videos. So Alex, I did appreciate your email. Thank you very much for writing. I wish you and your family a lot of love and luck. That's all. I'm now going to have to try and solve this puzzle, which means I need to get my head in the game. Let me read you the rules of 6x6 Fog Sudoku by starwarigami. They are as follows. Normal Sudoku rules mostly apply. Fill the grid with the digits 1 to 6 and 0. But the and 0 is in brackets, which is already strange, so that brackets almost no digit repeats in any row, column or box. Each unique digit may appear twice in exactly one row, column, or box. No row, column, or box may contain more than one repeated digit. Now, I think what that means is that looking at this row, we could have 2 ones in this row, but several things would follow from that, I think. The first thing that would follow is that there couldn't be another repeated digit in this row. The second thing that would follow is, say, in this row, or this box, or this column, you couldn't have 2 repeated ones, because I think what it's saying is that any digit just repeats once in a house, if we want to call it that. Sometimes rows, columns, and boxes are called houses in Sudoku, I think. So we can repeat a digit once in one of those things, but we couldn't say have 2 ones in this row and then 2 ones in this box, because then 1 would have repeated in 2 different things. And I think my reading of the rules is that that is not allowed. The grid is covered with fog, which will lift in a 3x3 area surrounding any correctly entered digit. So it's not dynamic fog today, it is old school normal fog. So if we get that digit, it will clear all that fog. Now, numbers outside the grid show the sum of the digits on the indicated diagonal. So those squares sum to 18, those to 15, those to 11. Digits on a pink line. Now we can't see any pink lines, but presumably there's going to be a pink line under the fog. Digits on a pink line form a non-repeating set of consecutive digits. Now I think that means if there was a pink line under the fog, it can't have a repeat digit on it, even though the row, column, or box it's in could have can have repeats. I think if there is a pink line, it can't have repeats. It does say form a non-repeating set of consecutive digits. So if this, let's draw a pink line in. If that is a pink line, and that's a 0, then I think those 2 squares have to be 1 and 2, because they have to be consecutive with 0. And all 3 have to be different. I think that's right. I mean, there might be another reading of the rules that would make that not true, but that's how I think it must work. Digits separated by a black dot are in a 2-to-1 relationship, i.e. one is double the other, and digits separated by a white dot are consecutive. So that's normal, I think. So I think basically under the fog things are normal, except for the possibility of repeated digits. Anyway, do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now, I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, we're using the digits. Right. So actually, okay, here is a small point. I think this has to be a 5-6 pair, but I'm just thinking about the overall concept in this puzzle. And I think it is very complicated for this reason. Normally, in a 6x6 Sudoku, these digits would be all different. Here, because 0 is possible, and all the digits 1 to 6, in theory there are 7 different digits to go into 6 squares. However, it's worse than that, because any one of those digits could be repeated. So effectively, the 6 cells can be filled with almost 8 different digits, if you see what I mean. There are 8 options. But, having said all that, I think that must be a 5-6 pair. I do not think there is any other way of filling those 2 squares. And adding to 11. And then presumably that one is more complicated. But these 2 could include a repeat 6 or a repeat 5. If there was no repeat here, then the most these could, i.e. no, these were not 5 or 6, then they, see, even that's, oh, it doesn't work. But I was going to say even that's complicated, because they could have been double 4, which is not the first thing I was thinking, but if they were double 4, this would be a 7, and that is not a digit in this puzzle. So in one of those squares, one of these squares repeats. So one of these is a 5 or a 6. Now if it was a 5, if it's a 5, it's really constrained, I think. Imagine this was a 5. Now what digit is this then? This can't be another 5, and it can't be a 6, because if it was a 6 there'd be 2 6s and 2 5s in one box. So this could be a most of 4, but that makes these add up to 9, and that makes this a 6. So if 5 repeats, you get a 6 here. But if 6 repeats, then you get 6 plus 4 is 10, then that would be a 5. So this is 5 or 6. But that doesn't even mean it has to be different from that. Normally this would be a 5-6 pair, but it doesn't have to be here. Those could be the same. Hang on, if sorry, I'm stuttering now, trying to think about this. So if one of these is 5 and that's 6, does that mean that has to be... No, okay. No, okay, so if 5 is the repeated digit, then that's a 6 by maths on the diagonal. Yeah, that could be 6, couldn't it? But, oh, hang on. What do the rules say? Right. This square is not a repeat. I don't think. That's huge if that's right, because that... Right. Here's my logic for that. If this was 5 or 6 and was the repeat that exists in this box, therefore, because we can't have 2 repeats, these can't both be 5 or 6. So if this was the repeat, then... Well, then whichever one of these is the same as this is causing a repeat in a row or column, and it's appeared twice in a box, and it's not allowed to do that. Each unique digit may appear twice in exactly one row, column, or box, not and, or. So that digit, well, that digit is not 5 or 6, which means that one is. And now, that one is different from that one, I think. Because if this one was the same as this one, say they were 2 5s, then there's 2 5s in that box and 2 5s in that row. That's not right. Right, we're going to colour these. Right, we'll make that green and that yellow. So that one is green, because we know that's repeated. Now, does that mean that yeah, okay, this is now yellow. Oh, I've got a digit. Right, bingo. That has taken a long time, but I've got a digit. Right, this can't be green, because green has repeated. So if this was green, I'd have a second repeated green. I'm not allowed to. So that's yellow, but now those are 2 different digits on the 15 diagonal. So they must add up to 11, and that must be a 4, I think. Mathematically. Yes. Oh, right. And we've got a wren band living under the fog, haven't we? So let's go back to let's go into here at least. This is very difficult to look at and think that this puzzle is correct. So, okay, this box has had its repeat. So these digits can't have, they must be different. They are from 0, 1, 2, and 3, I think. Now, that digit You see, the thing is that can be a 4, can't it? That would repeat the 4 in the row. That's okay. It's okay to repeat a digit once. The 4 has never been repeated. If that's 0, then this would have to go somewhere after it, because 0 and 4, we can't fill those with, say, 1 and 2. There would need to be a 3 on the line. If that's 0, this goes further. Oh, I've got this 18 to look at as well. I forgot that. Okay, what does that do? Oh, that's quite small. Ah, okay. So... okay, I've repeated green. Right, so that digit is low. When I say low, I mean it's not a coloured digit, I don't think. Because if this is a coloured digit, what would it be? It couldn't be green, because green's already repeated once in the puzzle, in that box. And it couldn't be yellow here, because if it was yellow there, yellow would repeat in that box and that column. So that's not allowed either. So this is a small when I say small, I'm going to label it fully as that. And that's also strange. Now the maximum size of those is 7. Oh, bother. Okay, so that nearly forced double 6 here. But okay, if they were 7, they still have to add up to 11. So aren't these 5s and 6s? But that's... oh, is that breaking here? Hang on. If that was... okay, let's think about this. If that was 4, I feel like those have to be 5 and 6 by maths, and these have to be whopping. But I'm not sure. If that was 4, the maximum size of those would be 11, and that would have to be a 7. Yeah, that doesn't work. This is 5 or 6. But it mustn't cause a green repeat, because we've had a green repeat. So that is yellow. So yellow has now repeated. So if that's 4, well, you could have 2. Ah, no, I bet that can't be 4. Because if that's 4, then 4 has repeated in column 2, and this couldn't be a second repeated 4 in this box as well. So that would be a maximum of 3. That would be a maximum of 3. That's 6, 10, 16. It's nowhere near. Right, so this is also 5 or 6. But yellow has repeated. So this must be... yeah, yellow and green have now repeated. So that must be a normal Sudoku play. These two are normal Sudoku. They are different. And now I've got 11 on this diagonal. Definitely. And these must add up to 7, which is a 4 and a 3. Wow. Wow. Okay, I am all on board with the tester's discussion, or tester's thought that this is more complicated than it looks. This is highly complicated. Now what can we say about this? Is it normal? It can't be 8. That is something I am sure about in this puzzle. So does it have to be 2? It has to be in a doubling relationship. It has to be 2, I think. Oh, it did. Okay. I mean, I didn't see how it couldn't be. That Maverick's about to fly over. It's a very chilly day here in Surrey, let me tell you that. So if Maverick has an open top plane, good luck to you, Maverick. That digit is even. That is true. I'm questioning everything. These have to be consecutive. So this is even, but it could be 4 if it's a repeat. So that, I think that's 2 or 4. And this is 1, 3 or 5 because it's odd. And could it be 3? Absolutely it could be 3, because 3 has not benefited from a repeat or suffered a repeat. I'm not sure whether it's a benefit or a suffering. You see, normally in Sudoku we'd fill in 5 and 6 up here by sort of Sudoku logic. Oh, but 4, okay, so there is definitely a break of Sudoku because 4 can't go up here as well. I mean, okay, those digits are not high digits, because if they were 5s or 6s, they would be repeating 5s and 6s in a manner which is impossible, because we've already had repeated green and repeated yellow. So those are from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. But I have learned something in my travels around this puzzle. This square cannot be the repeater of those two, because again, if that was 2, 2 would repeat in the box and the row, which is not allowed, and the same is true of 4. So this is 0, 1, or 3. Now if it if it's 3, I'm not allowed to repeat on the pink line, am I? I don't think I can. So actually this square can't be 3 or 4, and that one can't be 3, simply by virtue of pink line logic. So now these are both quite low. So that can't be 6, because there's no 5 on the line. So this digit is, well, it's not 4 or 3 or 6, so it is 0, 1, 2 or 5, I think. And there's a black dot here. See, that's so going to be, it's so going to be 00, because that would just amuse you. If you were a constructor and you invented these rules, you would definitely put 00 in across a black dot, because of course 0 times 2 is still 0. So okay, so if that was 0, that would be 0. And if this is 1, this can't be half, but it could be 2, and then the 2 would repeat. So right, so the repeat in this row happens within those 3 squares, definitely, because within those 3 squares you've either got 2 2s or 2 0s. So these squares are not, well, they're not anything that's appeared in the row before, but we don't know whether this is 0. If it's 1 and 2, these would be from 0, 5, 6. But if these are both 0, then we don't really even know these are odd. They could include 6 then. Good grief. Okay, so oh no, that doesn't work. I was going to say the Renban has to have 2 on it. That is definitely right. One of those must be 2. Because we know, in fact one of them's 1 as well. Yeah, so these are 2, 1 and 0 or 5 as the sort of 5th digit. And if it was 5, then this would have to be 6, because we couldn't have 2 5s in this column, because we've already repeated 5 either there or there. So I've used all of these diagonals. I'm slightly suspicious I've made an error now, because I don't actually see what to do at all here. Is this somehow, what do you even do here? Sorry, if this is obvious. I don't think it's obvious. It says if that's 2, does that mean that has to be 0? If that's 2, why can't that be 2? Ah, okay. But that still doesn't tell me that this isn't... Yeah, if that's 2, it's not actually possible for that to be 2. Because if that's 2, and that's 2, 2's repeated in column 4, and 2 is repeated in row 3. So if that's 2, that is 0, and so is that. But if that's 4, then 4 has repeated in the row. This would be 3 or 5. Ah, so this would be 5. Yeah, so if that's 4, this has to be 5, because 4 would have repeated in the row, so 3 couldn't also repeat in the row. So 4, 5. Now, does that mean that's... Oh, I see. Oh, very clever. Right. This square. This square is not 5, because it sees... I don't know which of yellow or green is 5, but one of them is. Oh, but... Hang on, I can do Sudoku like that. Because I know 5s and 6s can't repeat again. Yeah, that's fair. Oh, this is so difficult. Right. This is not 5, because if it was 5, it would see one of its own colours. It would see itself either in yellow or in green. And that's not allowed, because whichever of yellow or green is 5 has already repeated in the puzzle. So it would be a second repeat of that digit. So this is 1 or 3. Now I think that means this might not be able to be 4. Yeah. Then it's straightforward. It's more straightforward, because if this is 4, this is definitely 3. And 4 and 3 have repeated in the row. Good grief. So this is 2, I think. I'm not going to claim I know what that is. I don't... Ah, that one's even, isn't it? That must be right. But even has a lot, even has a lot of connotations. So 0, 2, or 4, I think. Not 6, because it can't be consecutive with any of these digits. And does that mean... Yeah, I see. So now this is 0. Because if it's 2, we looked at this, 2's repeating in 2 different dimensions, and that's no good. So right, so this is 0. We've got some more stuff going on here, but this is now 0 across the black dot. 0 can't repeat on the Renban, so these are not 0. One of these is... Oh, wait a moment. Ah, no, that's perfect. Right. So we worked out before that 1 and 2 have to appear on this line. So 5, it can no longer be on it. Because to get down to make sure this is a consecutive set, we couldn't do that. So this is 1, this is 2. That's almost not helpful. This is 00. Right, this is not 0 anymore, because 0 has repeated once in a row, so it can't also repeat in a box. So that is a 2 or a 4. Sorry, I needed to take that call. So let's go back to this. Oh, goodness. That was... I've been away for a few minutes there. So what were we doing? We were looking at... Okay, so I've done something on that line, and I've taken 0 out of here. Oh yeah, because 0... Right, 0 has now repeated. So, okay, let me just get back into this. So what we were saying is we have repeated 0s. We have repeated 5s. We've repeated 6s. We just don't know where, because green has repeated and yellow has repeated. So the digits we've got left to repeat are 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s. So, okay, and do we know what's on here now? Yes. Yes, I do, actually. This has to be 3 and 6, I think. Because, okay, in theory, No. Well, the point is that because we've already had a repeat in the row, if that was 1, 2, I mean, it can't be 2, 4. There would be so many repeats, it's not true. But if it was 1 and 2, that would repeat a 2. We've already repeated a 0. So I think that's 3, 6. Now, does that mean that's 3, 6? The answer is yes, because black dots, it's like one of the only opportunities in this puzzle to do Sudoku. If black dots and pink lines, digits genuinely have to be different. So does that mean that can't be 3? No, because that could be... actually, I don't know. If that's 3... 3 has repeated in the column, but that's fine, isn't it? Because 3 has... Well, it doesn't know. 3 doesn't have to repeat, but it could... Oh, wait a second. No. Oh, I've got something. If that was 3, 3 would repeat in that row and that column because of the 3 there. So that is not 3 now. That's 1. Ooh. Now that's 2 by dint of stuff to do with consecutiveness. Now, is that... do we know what that is? If... Oh, come on, articulate your words, Simon. What does that mean? If that's... Well, no, it's fine. It's fine. If that's 2, that doesn't work, because then 2 is repeated there and 2 is repeated here. And 2 can't repeat in 2 different things. So this is 1, and that's 2 by dint of pink line thingamajiggies. Okay, so have I actually improved my knowledge of the world now by getting everything that we've just got? Have we had any more extra repeats? I don't think we have. So that digit... See, that it's just ludicrous. That digit is under no pressure at all. It could repeat any of these digits, I think. It couldn't be green, because then green would have 2 repeats, or have a repeat here and a repeat there. So it's not... Oh, it's not yellow. Okay, I didn't see that. It's not yellow, so it's not 5 or 6. But could it be 0? I think so. So I think that digit is literally 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4. No. No. I see. No, I'm slightly wrong. It can't be 1 or 2, actually. Because if it's 1 or 2, it's repeating in the row and in the box, which is not allowed. So 0, 3, or 4 now. If it was 3... 3 would repeat in the row, but not necessarily in the box. And then that would be different from 3, so that would be 6. And if that... Okay, that does work. So if that's 3 and that's 6, these 2 digits have to be 4 and 5 to make the consecutive thing work. And we can't know. We just can't do Sudoku. Ignore Sudoku. Sudoku is not your friend. Right, so that means that I don't know what that means. Oh, I see, I've got another line up here. These have to be different. Those are the same, but Sudoku doesn't help us, so that doesn't mean anything. If that's 3, that has to be 0 or 4. Oh, 3 and 0. No, that could be 1 and 2. No, that's okay, I think. Oh, hang on. If that's 1 or 2... Oh, hang on. I suppose... 6 is one of the coloured digits, isn't it? So this one of these is yellow or green. Do we care about that? I've got it. Right, I see. Okay, right, sorry, this has been obvious to all of you. Right, if that's 6, the point is that there must be a 5 on this line. And I can't put a 5 on the line, because whatever colour 5 is, it's green or it's yellow. There would be a green or a yellow in one of those, and it would be a second repeat of green or yellow. So that's 3. That's actually fair. That's about the easiest thing we've had to do. Okay, I've nearly cleared all the fog. I've only got one opportunity left to clear fog. And that can't be 3, because we really cannot repeat digits on this line. So if this is 0, I almost had a good deduction then. It's really difficult for this to be 4. It might be impossible, but I can't quite prove it. The reason I'm interested in that being 4 is that now we've just worked out 5 doesn't go on this line. Is that still true? Because that was I think that's true. Whatever colour 5 is, it would repeat. Yeah, so there's no 5 on the line. So if that's 4, this line has to have 2 on it. Because the line is going to be 4, 3, 2. Oh, hang on. So whether this is 0 or 4, don't we have to fill it with 1s and 2s? Oh, this is horrendous. This is horrendous. Well, okay. Right. Whether this is 0 or 4, if this is 0, how do you make this a consecutive set? It has to be 0, 1, 2, 3. So these would be 1 and 2. If this is 4, because we can't put 5 on the line, it has to be 4, 3, 2, 1. So these are always 1, 2. But that definitely cannot be 2. Because if it's 2, 2 is repeating in the row and repeating in the box. So I think that's a 1. We're not going to get any confirmation, therefore that's a 2. And okay, this is big, because now... Well, now 1 has repeated here and 2 has repeated here. So my state of play has changed a bit. Because now 0 has repeated, 1 and 2 have repeated. So 3 and 4 are the only repeats we can do in the puzzle. But that could be 4 and repeat in row 5. Or it could be 0, and I think this line is fine. And what's that? I don't know. Well, or do I? It's definitely not high, because that we know that we can have no repeats of high. It's definitely not 1 or 2, they've already repeated. In fact, it can't be, yeah. So this is either 0, which I think is okay, providing that is not also 0, or 3, because we haven't repeated 3, or 4, because we haven't repeated 4, right? If that's 4, that could also be 4, I think. Oh no, no, because that would cause a repeat 4 there and there. Good grief, this is complicated. Right. So that's 0, 3, or 4. 2 has repeated, so the corner is not 2, because then we'd get 2 2s. So the corner is 0, 1, or 3. The other thing I'm noticing about this, it doesn't behave like in a normal Sudoku. The more you do, the more you get a momentum. But here, I don't feel I've got any momentum. What's that then? Okay, that is not 1, 2, or 0, because that would cause a second repeat of any one of those digits. Is it 3? Maybe. Don't see why not. Is it 4? Definitely could be 4. It's not seeing any 4s. Is it 5? No. No, it's not. Okay, this digit is 3 or 4 only. That's about the most restricted thing we found. If it's 3... I don't know. Okay, alright, so let's go back to this column now. Where that digit now can't be 0, 1 or 2 anymore, because they've all had repeats already. But it could be 3. It could be 4. It could be yellow. So I think that could be 5 or 6 as well. It can't be green because we've already repeated green. I mean, that's extraordinary, isn't it? It really doesn't do anything, I don't think. Okay. None of those digits can be 5 or 6. Or 2. Okay. That's quite good. It can't be 5 or 6 because there'd be repeats in these columns as well as in the other places where they've repeated. And it can't be 2 because 2 has repeated down there already. So these are from 0, 1, 3, 4. But can there be repeats? Because it's not normal Sudoku. Normal Sudoku, you go 0, 1, 3, 4. Okay, that's a quadruple. I can get rid of 4 and 3 from that, and this would be 5 or 6, and the world would be a make sense place. However, well, 0 and 1 can't repeat in this box, because that's bad if they do. Because 0 and 1 have already repeated. 0 is repeated there, 1 has repeated somewhere, I can't remember where there. This row. So if there is a repeat, it's a repeated 3 or a repeated 4. Now, no, I'm not having, well, I'm definitely not having repeated 4, and I might not be having repeated 3. If there's 2 4s there, there's 2 4s in that box, but in one of those columns there's 2 4s as well, so there's no repeated 4. Now, repeated 3 looks interesting because of this 3. If there's repeated 3, there's a repeat 3 in the box, so there couldn't be a 3 here. So yeah, it doesn't work. That's really interesting. So you can't repeat any of these digits actually, because a repeated 3, let's just go through how this would work. Because there's a repeated 3 then in this box, because we're saying, let's imagine there's 2 3s in that 2 by 2. They couldn't have 2 3s in this row, so neither of these are 3, so the 2 3s would both be in row 1, but that breaks the rules as well, because you can't have 2 3s in row 1 and in box 1. So those are all different, which means that there is a repeated 4 in the puzzle, because one of these 4s is going to bump into whichever one of those is 4 in the column, so there's now repeated 4. So what does that do? That's beautiful. Now that is not 4. Because it can't be, because that would be a second repeated 4. That is 0, and 0 has appeared as a repeat there. So this is now 3 or 4. 3 hasn't repeated, but I'm going to go and check this again, because what does that even mean then? So 0, these are the digits 0, 1, 3 and 4. So I've now, the only thing I could repeat that I haven't repeated is, oh I see, right, so this digit is not 4 now, because the 4 here is repeating with one of these 4s in a column, so it can't also repeat in that box, so that is not 4. So it's either yellow or it's 3 and 3 has repeated in the column. And if it's yellow, this line has to contain a consecutive sequence. So if it's yellow, I don't know. Oh dear. I don't think that's under any pressure. I'm not sure. If this is... Well, actually, let me think about this. Okay, this can't be 0. Because I can't put 1 and 2 both into that square. So that is not 0. If this is 1, what's that digit? To make this consecutive set, this would be 1, this would be 3, that would be 2, and that doesn't work, because then I'd have 2 2s in this column, but I've already got 2 2s in this box. So this is 3 or 4. And, oh, but that doesn't mean, because we know one of these is 4, but we don't know which one, but it could be this one. But okay, maybe this is the digit I have to think about, because this can't be 2. So it is, and given it's got to be consecutive with these digits, it's at least 3. And can it be 3? That would put 2 3s here. I don't know. I think it's got to be 3, 4, 5 or 6. So these digits are either 3, 4, 5 or 4, 5, 6. They definitely include 3, 4, 5. They definitely include 4 and 5. And okay, so we're going to use that because because that string of digits definitely includes 4 and 5. I don't know the order. Well, because it does, that can't be a 4, because I know 4 is repeating in a column. So that corner digit is 0, 1 or 3. There's something more here, isn't there? I know there is, I just can't get my head around it. How do we do this? Sorry, I know it's going to be obvious. Well, it's probably quite obvious. So 4 and 5 are definitely in this string of digits. And either 6 or 3. Okay, so maybe I've got to pencil mark these then. Because I've had so many repeats now. Yeah, this digit. Yeah, maybe this digit is where we look. Because that can't be 3. Because although 3 hasn't been repeated yet, it would then be repeating in its column and its box. So that digit is either, it can't be 1, can't be 2. Could be 0, unfortunately. It's not 3. It's not 4 or 5, because that would cause a repeat 4 or 5 in the row, and 4 and 5 have already been catered for somewhere over here and somewhere else. So this is, and it can't be 6. This is a naked single. I don't believe it. It's a 0. I mean, how? That's just really hard to see. Okay, it can't. Let's go through that again. It can't be 1 or 2. It can't be 3. It can't be 4 or 5. It can't be 6 because 6 is repeated somewhere over there. That is a 0. Now, that is now not a 0 because 0 has already repeated here. And what's this digit, I suppose, is the obvious question. Now, the answer is not 0, not 1, not 2. It's not 3, because if it was 3, 3 would repeat in this column and this box. So it is 6, because it can't be 4 or 5. That's so clever. Not of me, I hasten to add. I've done nothing clever. It's entirely just starwarigami's cleverness. So this is 3, 4, 5. Oh, bobbins. If that's... Ah, no, okay, so this is not 3 in the corner. It's 1, because... Watch this. If this is a 3 in the corner, we know 3 is repeating in the row because there is a 3 on here. But then, so then the 3 couldn't be there because it would also repeat in that box. But this couldn't be 3 because it would then repeat in this box. So that's 1 in the corner, I think. Yes. So these are now 0, 3, 4. That's... We've had a repeated 1. I can't remember where, but we did find one there. That's where a repeated 1 is. So that is not a 1. That's 0 or 3. Oh, now this must be done somehow now. So that's definitely not 5, is it? That really is 3 or 4. And these are all different. So if that is 3, that's not 3. Ah, yeah, okay. If that's 3, the point there is that we know there's a 3 in this 2 by 2, and it would have to be here. And then I get 2 3s in row 2 and 2 3s in this box. So that is 5. And that's great. Right, because if this is 5, we know it's not a second repeat of green because green's already repeated here. So it's yellow and green is 6. Yellow is 5. That's not 5 then. So, okay, let's get rid of our corner pencil marks. See, and now you just feel like you can just fill this in, but you can't because we don't know whether there's a repeated 3 somewhere. So, hang on. How could this not do anything? That's green now. That's green. Oh, no. Okay, this is not 3. Because if it is 3, that is not 3. So there is a 3 here, and I get a repeat 3 there and a repeat 3 in row 2. So that is 4. That is 3. These are 0 and 4. That 4 can't have another repeat because there's a repeat there. We still haven't found where the repeated 4 goes, but there can't be another one. So that's 3. Whoa. I've now got 2... this might be broken, but I've got 2 3s now in this box, so I can't have 2 3s in this column, so that's 4. I can't have 2 3s in this box, so that's 0. I really hope this does it. Now, I can't have... There's 2 zeros in a column, so this is 4. That's my repeat 4 now, so this is now 0. And hopefully there is one option left for each of these digits. We've found all the repeats now. So we can't, these have to not be from these digits. These have to be from 1s, 2s and 5s, such that nothing repeats. So that has to be 5 in the column. And that has to be 1 in the row and the column. And the fact that's actually worked at first blush makes me think it's probably correct. That is so clever. It's ridiculously difficult, but it is... I think it would be incredibly easy to make a mistake. Is it correct? Oh, thank goodness for that. Thank goodness for that. That is a brilliant puzzle. My goodness me. Star Warigami. That is one of the strangest puzzles I've ever done on the channel, no doubt. I'm going to be really interested in how easy or difficult people found that. And especially, the thing is, I think you could solve that by luck a lot, by missing options. I definitely don't think I did that. I think I was probably unlucky more than lucky. I definitely tried to make it as logical as possible. Let me know in the comments how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.